West McDonald here on another Wednesday, and I'm here with my good friend Kenneth Edmonds. How are you, Ken?
I am fine.
I know you are. We were talking before the broadcast, and you're just finishing up on your house, which you're selling and moving, right? And
I am, but we got all of the heavy lifting done. I can actually start to breathe again. The last 2 weeks have been insane, and now that it's listed and the pictures are taken, it's my workload has gone down by about 90%, and my stress level by about 95%. So it's all good.
And I did put up the banner there, which you always love to know where people are from. So as people tune in, let us know where you were watching from. And Ken, where are you moving to?
Well, I'm going to move to Florida, somewhere down in the area around Orlando. Not in Orlando, but in that general area. So instead of joining you from North Carolina, pretty soon I'll join you from Florida. Unless, of course, I'm on a cruise ship or in some foreign destination.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. And as you know, last week, obviously, I was gone fishing. I was up north at a place called Watson KB Lodge, which is, I guess they call it near North Canada. It's a 12-hour drive from where I am, and then you fly in for another 45 minutes. And just completely pristine and untouched. And I did share a picture of the one northern pike that I caught. It was absolutely crazy. I mean, that's the biggest fish I've ever got in my life. So that was.
Yeah, I did respond to your picture. I don't know if you saw my response.
Oh, what'd you say?
I just asked if that was the bait you were holding.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's one in every crowd. No, I didn't see that, but I'll definitely go back and look for it. And good to see you, Wes, down in Arizona. And that's one of my favorite places. I always love having the opportunity to go to Arizona. It's one of those dry heat places. Obviously, I'm smart enough to go there in our winter when it's a little cooler, but it's a beautiful place. So good to see you, Wes, and miss your brother. And hopefully we'll see you soon at another event. Yep. So remember, as you tune in, let us know where you're watching from. And the other thing we always like is any questions and comments that you might have. And hopefully we'll get a few questions and comments today because the topic we're going to be talking about today, what are we going to be talking about, Ken?
Awards, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. It is award season. And certainly a lot of the organizations that I belong to, and for everyone that's watching, if you don't belong to a volunteer organization, I highly recommend it. Both Ken and I are members of the Management Services Association. The companies we work for are also members of the Business Technology Association. Tiger Paw is also a member of CompTIA. We'll actually be heading there August 2nd through 4th. And these organizations, aside from the awards, are absolutely incredible. And I would say that belonging to these organizations has done more for my career than probably anything else, right? That the partnerships that I've, come to, you and I are a great example, Ken. The friendships that I've made, the differences that we've made with the initiatives, that we do, because they're not about our daily, work lives, right? It's about bettering the industry. And every time we meet, like we have competitors, I know on our board, on our executive, actually, we have two competitors, like direct competitors. And Ken, it's amazing the work that they do, together, right? Because you come into these organizations with that mindset, with that framework that we're here to do some good. So let's roll up our sleeves. Let's use that volunteer time to do the best we can to, kind of help rising tides raise all ships, if you will, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm fairly new to MPSA, but my time with the BTA, I have learned so much. I've taken so much training. You go to the events, you pick up so much information. And I am obviously a huge fan of both MPSA and the BTA.
Yeah, me as well. And, the other thing about the awards, part of it is nice to recognize organizations for some of the cool things that they're doing, right? And I'm going to put it out there right now that you do have to be an MPSA member to receive the award. You do not have to be an MPSA member to submit, but I would strongly encourage you. And actually, Ken, I'm going to bring up the membership page just to show you how ridiculously easy it is to become, a member. So $200 a year if you're a dealer. And I don't know about you, Ken, but every time I go to an event or somewhere else, that's a tab for dinner out with a customer or something, right? It's a very small
Yeah.
amount. So we talk about, membership. We've tried, we're a complete not-for-profit organization, right? So we don't charge any more than we think we need to be able to support the initiatives of the organization. So if you're a dealer, it's $200 annually.
Yeah, Wes, I didn't do all the math on that, but I think that's about $17 a month.
Yeah, so
seems not so bad to me.
What do you pay on your cell phone? I've got 2 teenagers plus my wife and myself, and I think just for my cell phone, bill, that we're pushing $550, $600 a month, right? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, very, very little bit of money. And you can see there's vendors and consultants and, vendors and OEMs and manufacturers, what those membership rates are as well. And we'd certainly love to, talk to you about them, right? All right. So I'm going to go over to the leadership awards categories now. And if you want to learn more about this, you can actually just visit yourmpsa.org, leadership-awards, and you can actually submit in the different categories that we're going to be talking about today. So it's very simple. There is a button on the page. I didn't quite like the way it was worded. It's called, let's see here, I'll scroll down. Nominate. You just click that to submit. So if you are in one of these categories that we're going to talk about today, you can jump in there and, and submit yourself.
So you can self-nominate, or somebody else can nominate you.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So let me come up here for a sec. One of the first categories that we talk about is best MPS software provider. And this is for any organization that is providing software that somehow supports dealers manage print, initiatives, right? So that could be software for running your business. I know that Tiger Paw had it last year. That could be software for monitoring devices. It could be something as bold, dare I say it, as a complete cloud solution for managed print. It could be something for managed print assessments, right? So any of those kinds of things. And the great thing about the way that we judge these things is that we make sure that there are no competitors judging in any category. So you can be assured that once that award is submitted, that the only eyeballs on it are from people that are outside of your space, which are actually going to be doing, the judging. I volunteer to judge every year. I think it's an amazing experience just for me to learn about what some of these organizations are doing, right? To get an in-depth look at what some of the innovations that they're doing and how they're contributing to the marketplace. So I absolutely love judging the categories that I can, and I hear that from everyone that gets involved in the judging as well, right? Yeah. Second category, best independent MPS provider. And I always like this award, Ken, because I'm a big believer that it's the independent dealers that have really sort of defined our channel. And I'm not knocking the larger organizations, some of the mega dealers or the dealerships that are owned by the OEMs, et cetera, right? But there really is something special about independent MPS providers and some of the things that they're doing in the channel. So it's always a lot of fun to recognize those. So if you're watching this either live or if you're watching the recording and you're an independent MPS provider, remember what we said, like membership with the organization is a couple $100. That's it. So aside from the awards, the benefits that you get for what we're doing with Managed Print Certified, again, the peer work. And I think, Ken, quite honestly, that belonging to those organizations, that one of the things I love is the opportunity with the peer work with the people that are also members, right? The stuff that we do together. So,
yeah,
absolutely incredible. So if you're,
I just want to speak about the independent MPS dealers, because it's a lot of times that's where we start to see the innovation, because an independent dealer can become more creative and it's easier. And so again, and it's one of those things we can all learn from is to see what other people are doing and how they're approaching the market. And again, that's one of the advantages of being part of an organization. You go to a good example. So you go to a BTA event, and what do? You talk to all the other dealers about what's their problems, what's going on. Same thing with when we go back to having live MPSA events. We'll be able to have those conversations with your peers, with people that are facing the same challenges and finding solutions.
Yeah. And I like what you say there, that you have to be a little more adaptive when you're an independent dealer, right? And so one example, probably a very easy example, is that independent dealers never have the buying power that some of the larger ones do, right? So they have to, really work on winning business in creative, ways, and expanding their, their footprint, right? Really based on a true value-based sale. So definitely would love to see, if you're an independent provider, make sure that, we see your submissions, right? Next category, best NPS professional services provider. So there are lots of folks that provide services that help dealers, to do managed print, and can wrap the professional services, kind of around that, right? So if the organization, has more than one full-time employee anyway, providing some kind of training, research, financing, or consultancy in the space, that it's a good opportunity for, for them to, be able to be recognized for what they're doing, right? Because we are in an ecosystem, and that ecosystem is a lot of different people that help contribute to how we win and deliver on business, right? How we deliver on, managed print. So I really do like that category. And another one that I really like, because one thing we're accused of, Ken, in this industry is, kind of putting our head in the sand, right? That we're, that we think print's going to last forever, and, that we don't see the writing on the wall, that we're somehow, delusional, right? And Ken, the dealers that I work with, nothing could be further from the truth, right? The amount of innovation that is happening in this channel, right? And accelerated, certainly, thanks to the pandemic and remote work and changing work habits. This innovation award is really an exciting one, because it is what is going to get us to do more than print over time, right? So
I wonder, is that something I've ever talked about, the need to do more than print? Yeah. I can't remember if we've talked about that.
No, Ken, you've always said, print will sustain us for another 30 years, right? No, I'm kidding. Actually, I don't know if you saw that report. I really like the work that Q Circa does out of the UK, Luella Fernandez. And she had a post on LinkedIn this morning that said that we're basically, for volume levels for print, we are now at about 52% of where we were pre-pandemic, right? And the projection of where we'll be at the end of the year is only around 56% of pre-pandemic volumes, right? So digitization of workflows has had a huge impact, right? We used to, basically solutions were a bad word, right? Where we talked about these things, but it's happening. People are finding ways to do things in their workflows without having to print, and we're certainly, seeing that, right? So what kind of innovation, could somebody, work on to help, the industry, right? So this could be just an individual, right? So this could be a company, and a product or process that can genuinely be hailed as an innovation in the, in the space, right? Hey, Jerry, good morning to you. Oh, where did it go? You clicked on him there, and I clicked on him too.
Yeah.
There you go. Hi, Jerry. Good morning. And let us know where you're watching in from as well.
Yeah. Too many cooks in the production studio today.
So this Best Innovation Award, if you've done something that you think is making a huge difference, and one thing I like about this too, Ken, is it doesn't necessarily have to directly support printers, right? So what if the innovation is some way to actually support, that digital workflow or whatever, right? Innovation has a huge net. There's a lot of ways that you can apply for, this award, right? So if it's supporting office equipment dealers, if it's supporting those that offer managed print, if it's some kind of diversification option, whatever that is, feel free to submit in there, right? And the thing is, Ken, innovation is one of those things that can never stop, right? And it's one of those lessons that I learned in the software world a long time ago. People said, well, when is the software ready for release? And it's like, well, software is never done. That's why there's version 1.0, 1.2, 1.3, 2.0, right? I mean, it's never done, and innovation is never done. So this is kind of an exciting one. We see a lot of different things, every year in this category.
Yep. Everything's changing. In fact, that would be the only constant is change.
Yes. Hey, remember, folks, wherever you're watching from, questions and comments, go ahead, join the conversation. And any questions about any of these categories, we'd love to answer them. Either here live and in person, or privately. You can reach out to either Ken and I on LinkedIn or through our emails as well. Oh, there goes one of my dogs. And let us know where you're watching from. It's always exciting to see where folks are tuning in from, because Ken, we've had people from all over the world. It always surprises me sometimes. We get some that kicks in from the UK. Or from the United Arab Emirate, or Australia.
France.
Yeah,
Australia.
Yeah. So let us know where you're watching from. And again, if you're watching the recording version, you do the same thing. Ken and I always love to see that, and we do respond to all of the comments that we get, even after it's been recorded. All right. So best MPS infrastructure provider is the next category. And this is fun. This award recognizes organization that has no reseller agreement with end users, but provides some kind of necessary combination of components to create a successful program, right? So you could look at, a distributor, someone that does parts or supplies, or just break fix, for example, right? That's the piece that they provide. So if it is someone that's providing some kind of supportive infrastructure, for managed print, it's a really good one to recognize, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had some big ones in that space as well. So I do know that oftentimes it gets competitive, but we've had Supplies Network, I know, that has taken that in the past, as well as Great America, I believe, has had that one as well, and some others, right? So, all right, and the next one is near and dear to our heart, Ken. Best MPS industry collaboration.
Yeah, it seems like I know a couple of people that won that.
Yeah. They're not the best looking fellas, but they do love helping to transform how managed print's delivered. And although we do it independently, we've worked together. And our collaboration, when we won the award last year, Ken has a huge amount of strength on the service side, obviously for myself on the sales and marketing side. And together, the modeling that we've done to really deliver an educational package for dealers that are looking to offer some kind of flat rate model for managed print, and that collaboration has been excellent. It's why we're here every week. It's why we work with the dealers that we do, helping them to transform those programs. And so it was really awesome last year to be recognized for that award, right?
Yes, it was. Now, we had some interesting things coming this fall too, so you'll want to stay tuned. It's going to be fun.
You will, and I'll put up a little link there. Actually, if people want to learn what we're doing, you can go to flatrate.world/compensation. And Ken and I do have an event coming up. We're reserving seats right now. Obviously, this one's not related just to flat rate. It's actually about compensation innovation in a changing subscription economy. So make sure you bookmark that. And I'll put this banner up every once in a while so people can see it. And if you're watching the recording, you can pause the video and write that, but it's fairly straightforward and simple banner to get to. Yeah. So it's been a lot of fun, Ken, the work that we do together. And I'm sure there's folks out there that have done some kind of collaboration, together as well, right? And we've seen it in the past. I know that some of the collaboration that was done in my old world with, for example, when I was working with John McInnes and working on sort of user management and, kind of the early stages of flat rate, business modeling, and the work that Great America did on actually building finance packages that would work for it, right? So there was a bunch of companies that came together to actually sort of make sure that stuff happened, right? So
I was going to say, it goes back to where we first met, because that was a collaboration at the Seat-Based Billing Roadshows that Great America was a part of, you were a part of. I just attended, but there were a lot of players.
Yeah, it lit the spark. So if you're doing something with another company, and I think actually, this one is really important as well, because I'm a huge believer in collaboration, and obviously there's going to be some kind of joint profit for people that are collaborating on solutions, but it's exciting to see different organizations working together to come up with unique solutions for the industry, right? So certainly look forward to seeing some of those. All right. This is another great one, and it is important because sometimes I don't think the OEMs get enough credit, right? That I do see them get bashed quite a bit. But they provide the things that we sell, right? And obviously, although it's hard to shift on a dime and to change the way that sometimes we would want them to, they are changing and shifting, right? So what kind of support from an OEM, what are the OEMs doing to sort of support it? And we should recognize that stuff as well, right? Because it was actually Chip Maselli I was listening on one of my podcast interviews, and I asked him, if he had, one piece of advice. And you know what his advice was? It wasn't self-serving at all. He said, stop treating the OEMs like jerks, right? Like, they're our partners. They do have our best interest in mind. And, although they may not always have the right way to get there, that, they do care. I mean, they want to sell more of their product and or product. My Canadian accent just slipped out a little there. So it's nice to see what they're doing. And I can tell you, Ken, since the pandemic and, because people were printing so much less, that the support from the OEMs has actually gotten even better, right? For how they're trying to help their customers in different ways. And it's been very refreshing to hear, some of the ways that they're doing that. So if you're an OEM, make sure you get in touch with us. And again, on the forum, I'll just click back to the page. If you go to yourmpsa.org/leadership-awards, very simple to be able to submit, just where it says nominate. And again, I'm not a big fan of that word. It may be changed to submit, but you can, submit there. And then reach out to Ken or I, or any of the other members that you may know that belong to the MPSA, because we'd love to be able to, to help you out. All right. And that's it. The only other thing to bring up is the clock is ticking. So if you want to get in on this action, then we need to see those submissions July 31st, 2022. And I got to say that the submission process anytime that I've done it, and I've submitted for several organizations that I've worked with over the years, right? That it's actually a really good way to focus on the strengths and weaknesses of what your business plan actually looks like, right?
Yeah.
That the questions that are in there, the way that these are judged, it's pretty thorough, but it's not that hard. I mean, you should have all of the existing things, necessary to copy and paste and fill out the, submission form, right? But sometimes you don't. Sometimes you say, you know what, the question that they asked here, I don't have a really good answer for that. Like verbally I do, but maybe we need to create something, if it's a video or if it's a document or something to better explain this to our customers, because this is important, right? Yeah. And what you're left with after the submission process is this beautiful document that you can look at internally and work with folks internally to be able to say, what are we doing right? What do we need to do differently? What do we need to, to think about for 2023, right? So just the process of going through the submission, is really well worth the effort, right? And I know, Ken, you remember that when we did the work together last year, right?
Exactly. It's always in. That's one of the things that I'm a big believer in is that we need to focus more on the future and be thinking down the road a lot farther than we do. Too often, the challenge is we live off of what we did yesterday, and we not really thinking about, because life's going to change. And I encourage the dealers I work with and consult with, I encourage them to be looking at least 5 years and creating a business plan that far, because 5 years from now, the world's going to be different. You need to be prepared for that.
Yeah. The only constant is change. It was actually when we moved, I don't know if this happened to you, Ken, because you're moving as well. But when you start digging through some of the boxes that you had in storage, right? And when I found a few things. One was my Palm Pilot, and the other one was my first camera, which was a Canon. It was 600 by 480 pixels.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, I kept those things, right? But nowadays, most people don't even have a camera unless they're, real photo enthusiasts, right? Like folks like Mike Lamoth. You remember Mike Lamoth before he left the industry? He was phenomenal photographer, right? Like the kit that he had, but the pictures he takes, unbelievable. But for average folks like you and I that are just kind of document our lives, right? It's all in the phone, right? That's completely changed. And certainly organizations like this, that's what we focus on, it is bringing people together to talk about those changes and innovations, right?
Yeah, and again, talking about going through, because I was reducing the stuff that I had to move, and I threw away probably 300 brand new blank DVDs.
Oh. Media? You have media?
Yeah.
Hard media?
It was amazing because, I can remember how happy I was when we first got DVDs and got to use them. And now I don't think I know my laptop doesn't even have a DVD player on it. I'd have to go buy a player if I wanted a DVD for my laptop.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy, right? I mean, one of the things, like we had a bunch of stuff in storage and you know me, Ken, I love home theater, right? So I've got the whole Atmos set up, just absolutely love it. And there are still most of the things that you watch streaming don't do Atmos. I mean, believe me, on Netflix, there's a lot more stuff coming out, but you still can't beat a disc for audio and video quality, right? Because playing it at 8K and Atmos, there's a lot of data that's moving through that stream, right? And but the frustrating thing is, Ken, that the remote controls and stuff are like they were in 2001. So if anyone's watching out there, well, you're probably not going to make any new ones anyway, because everything's going to be streaming probably in the next couple of years. But catch up. Like the remote controls, like if it's a Fire Stick or a Google TV or one of the others, right? They're just so intuitive, right?
Yeah.
So there's my rant for the day. Better remote controls.
Isn't there an app for that?
Yeah, it's got to be, right? Oh, let's see. We got a comment here. Oh, what's going on, Mr. Walters? Good to see you, buddy. And another past president of the Managed Print Services Association, a long-term member. I've always enjoyed collaborating and working with Greg over the years. Another one of the good guys. So good to see you, my friend. All right. So what are you doing with the rest of your day, Ken? I know what I'm doing. I'm going to be working on some video edits because I'm a little behind after my fishing trip. Had some great interviews for Tiger Paw, both for Tiger Tube and Tiger Paw Radio. So I want to get cracking on some of those. What about you? What's the rest of your day?
I have a little bit of stuff I'm doing for working around the house, but I'm going to be editing videos, but it'll be for my YouTube channel rather than for our. Okay, great.
Just got a little distracted there.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I saw the note, and I hear a lot of things. And sometimes it sounds like the wind blowing.
Oh, that's great. I always appreciate Greg's sense of humor. Yeah, and it's actually a good note to finish on, right? That obviously we have to do more than print, and the way that we do deliver print to our customers today also has to change, right? That how we compensate our sales reps, how we work with our customers, obviously that all has to change. And print's persistent. It's never going to go away. It's still important to most people in their workflows. Certainly not a growth area, right? The way it is a growth area still is taking other people's customers, right? That is a bona fide way to grow. Certainly manage print revenues, and obviously there are more modern ways to do that. And flat rate is one of them. We'd love to talk to you about how you can win more business from your competitors using flat rate. So if you're ready for a call, just reach out to Ken and I. We'd love to have a chat with you. And for everyone that tuned in today, thank you very much for joining us for another Wednesday, another Flat Rate World Live. We will see you next Wednesday. And don't forget, get in and submit your awards. I'm going to leave this up right now. urmpsa.org/leadership-awards. Get your submission in today. All right, everybody. Take care.
All right, we'll see everybody.
Cheers, my friend. Good luck with the move. Oh, I guess we're not finished yet. Look at that. We did a false leave. Oh, no, I definitely want to see it for sure. Thanks, brother. All right, now I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody.